Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I used to watch people's YouTube channels and nasema sitaisema hivyo. So that is the first and the last time I have said that. Without much further ado, let's get into it.
He makes my heart to go, my head to the knees and so. He makes my heart to go, my head to the knees and so. Today's my wedding day. Today's my wedding day. Today's my wedding day.
Can't believe I could watch you walk down the aisle. I gotta go smile. I'm supposed to go take it so bad. Today's my wedding day. Today's my wedding day. Today's my wedding day.
Today's my wedding day. Today's my wedding day. Today's my wedding day. I live, I breathe, I speak for Nairobi, Nairobi, my home and my town, my city, my love, Nairobi, Nairobi. Hey.
Okay, I've been in the industry for a minute, but I've been in the background. I do vocals, I do things. But we did a song with him called Successful, and then he came up to me and said he wants to do an album with me. So
Today we are working on my career's third album. It's a collaborative album with a beautiful, talented lady called Chess.
Then I left Kaka Empire a while ago. So
ulitoka tu friendly ama uliona tu there was no growth.
Nick, sasa nataka nimwongelee mwenzangu.
No, tunataka kujua kama fans wako.
Ilifika tu mahali nikaona there's no nimestagnate, you know.
Okay.
Hakuna kitu kinafanyika.
Kulikuwa na ukuta mbele kiasi.
Yeah, yani unasema when I left Kaka Empire, God works in mysterious ways. I did a collab with Prezo. He had my voice, he looked for me. We did our first collab, Celebration of Life.
Looking back at where I came from.
Looking back.
Guess I made it this far. Consider this a celebration.
It's a celebration,
A celebration of life.
Of what?
Of life.
Of what?
Of life.
Celebration.
A celebration of life.
Of what?
Of life.
Of what? Yeah. Celebration. Fast forward.
I'm in love. I'm in love. Nimepata wangu mpenzi. I'm in love. No one can stop this feeling.
Of from the recap that I've just played, you can already tell that I'm a singer, songwriter, recording and performing artist from that footage, because that was basically a recap of my musical journey ever since I started. Kuna vitu mob zimehappen hapo katikati, but like I've tried to just get the basic ones, the highlights that we can move. Mambo ni mob and we don't have that time. I hope my camera is straight. There, I don't want to get into it much, but umeona nilikuwa nafanya Safaricom Kenya live. That's why I started my journey. My biggest experience as a performing artist in this country was at Safaricom Kenya live, and then that's where I met one of your favorite rappers and ended up in his what is it called, record label. There was no paperwork, there was nothing signed. Ilikuwa tu biashara unprofessional ya mdomo. So of course mambo ilichemka at some point. Then I left and then I went and did my first single, which is the last clip that just played. That is my biggest song so far. Ijaifika hata 100,000 views, but yeah, that's my biggest song so far. Apart from releasing music that time, I was also hosting TV. My first hosting TV gig was on Tujuane. I used to go host Tujuane alongside Malonza back when it was on KTN. Basically Tujuane was a dating show. Ilikuwa inaenda tu sawa hadi wakaanza kuscript, but that is none of my business. So Tujuane mambo ikachemka pia because someone decided they'd rather bring their relative than have me do the job. But so najua tu mambo ya dunia, we stay moving. Then after that I went to Ibru TV. That's also where some of you probably know me from. I went to Ibru TV. I hosted We Connect for quite some time alongside Jocha, because I remember when we started it was DJ Creeper, then we switched him to DJ E. So it was it was quite some time ago. Then I was also doing karaoke as well at the same time. Yes, I was doing karaoke gigs. Nakumbuka nilikuwa natoka job to host Connect, because Connect was an entertainment show. It was like an evening show back when entertainment magazine shows were the ish. So it used to end at like 6. Tunamaliza 6 ama 6:30. So mimi nachomoka nenda karaoke gigs zangu. So pia at some point mambo ya media, as you can tell, ni slippery. So Ibri TV kachomeka, they sold it to another management. Yeah, so by Connect ikaingia majini hivyo. So I was left with what? The karaoke gigs and MCing. I ended up being a club MC for the longest time and a karaoke host. So in terms of music at this point, nika release Give It To You na EP inaitwa From The Ashes. Wacha nionyeshe.
I'm gonna give it to you like that. Boy, I'm gonna give it to you like that. You're gonna give it to me like that. Boy, I'm gonna give it to you like that. You're gonna give it to me like that. Boy, I'm gonna give it to you like that. I'm gonna give it to you, give it to you, give it to you, give it to you, give it to you like that.
So that song that's just played up on Musha, that's Muiba. That was my last single in this period. That I was just sikukuwa na form, yeah, like strong. I was just an MC, but yeah, it used to pay my bills, my little bills. Then I got my first big gig. I remember after Muiba, yes, Muiba. By the time I was releasing Muiba, I was signed to Give It To You, and Muiba, I was signed to a management company that was in Dar es Salaam. Oh, story for another day. Then the management team is the one that got me that Paparemo gig. Paparemo is a beach in Watamu at 7 Islands. Yes, the resort is called 7 Islands. So one of the beaches there is called Paparemo Beach. So that was my biggest gig, and it was my first big gig, and I remember it was just amazing. I had such a good time. The guys had a good time. I also had a good time until I injured my leg. So yeah, I injured my leg. One of my legs, I won't say which one. I actually came back home from Watamu in a cast. So you know, of course, when you can't walk and you are dependent on hosting gigs, then what happens? You're left kaudo jobless. Let's not say kaudo, let's say jobless, because unaenda kwa club ya nani na crutches, you know. So for almost a year, I couldn't do anything. I was just seated. I had to be helped to shower. Yeah, I honestly thought I'm not going to, I would never dance again properly or walk again properly. You know, when you break your body parts and you're just like that. And that was the first time that was happening to me. So I was rendered almost useless because I couldn't walk. So of course I lost all my gigs. So here I am. I'm sitting in the same place. I didn't see what I record music. So from that period, from that injury, I think that injury happened on purpose to just get me to slow down and sit down and listen to myself, because for the longest time I was just unasonga tu kaende mambo zina happen, unaumiza na life kaende. So that the universe must, when I look back, I'm like, the universe must have been like, yeah, we need to get her to stop. So hey, I couldn't walk, I couldn't do shit. So I was seated, couldn't record. And until that cast was removed, I was just seated, spending so much time with myself in silence, of course, with internet, playing music, catching up with the stuff that's happening, because moving around was hectic. Imagine having crutches, it was just hectic. So up on the isolation yangu naweza sema ilianza. That was when my period of isolation started. So nikapona, I started walking properly, but now you see, I've lost all the gigs. And I was not recovering them as much as I wanted. Like, I wasn't getting back into business as faster as I wanted. But what I did not know is I was not supposed to get back in business. So nikapoteza kila kitu. What happens when you lose everything? I went back home. You know, when ikifika ile place unacall mzazi anakwambia wewe kuja tu. Hapo ndio nilifika. So I went back home, and now that was officially isolation. Like, hey, let me tell you. If you've ever been isolated, they always say isolation comes before an elevation. I cannot even argue with that statement, because me and I've had my fair share of isolation, and that is when, from that isolation I was experiencing when I couldn't walk, that was the beginning of the major isolation that was coming. And let me tell you, my friend, I was isolated. Isolation. Ushona, your device is not even ringing. Okay, you have to check it to see if it's okay, or maybe it lost network, or maybe it doesn't work anymore. But nobody's fucking with you. From being a radio presenter, from being on TV, having your phone going off, from being an events host to hosting has karaoke, having your phone go off every time, like uko happy phone ni gani, to total absolute silence. Not even one person calling to find out if you're okay. Not even one person. Let me tell you, I stayed. By the time hata nilikuwa napona, hizo tu pesa nilikuwa nimemake kwa hiyo gig ya Paparimo zilikuwa zimeisha. So sasa here I am, I've gone back home. Isolation kicks in. So you know, if you've lived with your parents, if you've gone back home as an adult, you know what that feels like, and you know that pinch of just telling God, Mimi akinitoe tu, Mimi please God, just get me out. Where I used to cry to God day and night, namwambia to God, I still just nitafute tu kitu. Ilifika place sasa, I even now stopped praying. I like now no longer just praying. Nakumbuka usiku moja mambo ilichemka, tulivurugana vibaya sana with my folks, and the next day I woke up, I was like, you know, Chess, you have to get out of this script. I started calling everyone I could know. Nilikuwa naenda hivi kwa phone book yangu nasema, hey, why do I have all these contacts if I can't get something to do? Why do I have all these contacts if I have to be seated at my mom's and my dad's crib, wailing inside, feeling like shit. Ushona umefika ground zero hadi nywele, you don't even make your hair. Uko na tu matuta 24/7 366. Zishamea matuta zingine juu hizo matuta, but hata that's the least of your worries. It's like you're half dead. Man, I started calling people on my phone. This whole time I'm not writing music, I'm not creating anything. I'm just isolated. I remember I just used to read books. That's when I started practices like working out, meditation. That's when actually my spiritual awareness is very aligned with that isolation period when I had to go back home. And let me tell you, I did not even mention it before, going back home has to be one of the hardest decisions I ever made. Because me nilitoka home kitambo. I pride myself in being independent, and I was like, hey, my freedom, my friend. Mimi nikitoka nimeenda, I'll never come back. So going back home was like, when I kitu yenye unasemanga haitai kuhappen, yeah. That is exactly what happened. Anyway. So yeah, I started calling people, everyone. Anyone I know. Nataka job. Ukisikia job, nitumia CV, kila mtu. Yani unapiga wengine hata washiki. Kwanza remember one of your PR specialist here, sitasema jina yake. She really pulled my leg, She really pulled the first one on me. Akaniambia ati, unataka nini mpaka tukadiscuss hadi do yenye tanilipa, nitakuwa na work how many hours, kani niko na laptop nini. Nini msema kupanga kabisa na unaenda umepata job. Like she really put me on. Yani mpaka niko like put me on because it wasn't real. Cheki dema kiniambia nimpigie 6 p.m. the next day tupatane, tupange time yenye tunapatana. Did she ever pick my calls again? No, until today. So I'm like, what do you gain from doing that? Anyway, at the end of the day, after making calls, nikapiga simu moja. Nikakumbuka cameraman fulani nilipatana na yeye time fulani kwa shoot fulani, akaniambia, nikakumbuka akisema anafanyanga kazi production company. So nikamcall, nikamwambia ni aje, mimi natafuta job by the way, ile ukipata kitu naweza do, wewe niambie tu. In fact hizi vitu nimesomea shule, wewe ni call tu. Haya, I hope kitu ina record akigai. Akanisho sawa. In fact nimepeana namba yako, please fulani unatafuta producers, atakupigia. So unaona mtu akikwambia atakupigia venye unakanga hivi unangoja atanipigia kwani anipigie. This whole time I'm just still kwetu tu. Nimesha kwanga tu, I just do my duty. Unajua tu kishiko yenyewe lazima oshe vyombo, ufanye. You know, if you know, you have to do the typical African home. So I'm not talking about this progressive you know what I'm talking about, ukishikwenyu like a typical African child, So I was just humbly doing my duties and every day telling God, mimi haki. And then now my spiritual awareness, I went from fighting isolation to embracing it, and that's how I started reading books. I read The Secret. I started discovering law of attraction, positivity, manifestation, your thoughts and how they matter and all that. And even that period I used to have like, sikuwa naendanga nje ovyo because unatoa pifea. Utaanza kutisha mzazi fea. Mara ngapi ulitisha mzazi fea before mwanze kukorofishana. So the few times I would go outside, I would bond with my big bros. I don't want to mention their names, like months of name dropping. I would bond with my big bros who are on the same in the same industry, but then they're also on the same journey of spiritual awareness, but they were ahead of me. So ka usha experience spiritual awareness, unajua kuna extent unaanza kufeel kama chizi. So they really validated me, like they really walinisaidia kufeel like enyewe siko peke yangu. I mean, there is this, I'm not the first one to go through this, and this is it's normal, it's happening to people that I know. So yeah, I mean, isolation was hard, but hapo ndio nilikuwa huyu. That was the foundation of who I am now today, of this just Nthusi 7.0. Anyway, so after kupambana nikapata hiyo job, they finally called me out, walikuwa wanatafuta producers. So fun facts, I'm also a producer. I've produced so many shows on Showmax. Our 5th anniversary. I've helped produce Our Perfect Wedding. I have produced the comedy shows, all the comedy shows you see, the roast, all the roasts, the roast of the ones that's got number 7. Those people who know. Hot Seat, Comedy Riot. So yeah, I'm also a TV producer, a documentary producer. Nilikuwa nafanya kazi DNR. Nikisema tu hivyo mnajua, that's Eugene Gogwa's company. Shoutouts for training me very well. So yeah, nikaka DNR. DNR ndo ilinitoa home. DNR, and I remember I used to drive from the ends, from where my folks live in Utawala all the way to Tao. Na unajua kama unaingia job 8 am, watu wanafanyanga 8 to 5 na wanaishi Utawala ama Kangundo Road. Wanajua. It's not funny. Utakuwa umechoka. So I had to move. I told God, okay, now because of that, now sasa nishapata job, so niko like, okay, neza hama by the way, ama. So I started thinking of how I was going to move. Sasa hapo katikati kukakuja ka toxic relationship. That is a whole story for another day. So he said niko employed, alafu he said nimeingia kwa toxic relationship. Then nikatoka DNR, resign DNR, I didn't finish a year, nikaenda Conscious Kenya. I worked for Conscious Kenya as a client onboarding and social media associate, something, social media consultant. Then kazi ikaisha hapo, kampuni ikafilisika, ikakupeana kwa watu wengine, so back to square zero. So nikaambia tu God, mimi siwezi kurudi nyumbani. Tafadhali jua kile utafanya. So I went back to DNR. I humbled myself and I went back to DNR. So nikaka DNR all the same while. Kumbuka niko kwa hii toxic relationship yenye that is the worst ever. That is the worst mother ever I have ever dealt with. That is the relationship that has never made. Yani shona relationship yenye make sense, unajiuliza hata ulijipataje hiyo shimo. Uko tu like, girl, what the heck did you get there? Anyway, put a pin in that toxic relationship. So this is last 2024. Now this is the second time I've come back to DNR. 2023 actually. 2023 November nilirudi DNR. By 2024, first of all, I think hata nimeongelea historia ya DNR enough times. Kazi mnawaka kama maumbwa, kama mapunda, pesa haitranslate. Alafu sasa ikafika place sasa hakuna pesa, mfanye kazi for free kiasi ndio mwanzo kulipwa. Anyway, ghafla bin vu hili likawa lile, mimi nika resign tena, and let me tell you, that is when I discovered that me and 8 to 5, me and employment, me and any kind of slavery, me and any kind of plantations. So nikasema hiyo nimelearn, sitawahi rudia. So safe to say DNR was the first and the last place I was ever employed. Yes, I'm employed now, but I don't think of it as employment. We'll get to that too. So here I was, nimetoka DNR sasa. Then now I've just left this toxic relationship that I was struggling with for so long. And I used to leave and come back. Let me tell you, the universe did that so that I can be a teacher. I can share the lessons I have learned, because I used to be those girls when you walikuwa nauliza wenzao, si utoke tu, kwani utoki, unafanya nini? No, it wasn't a domestic, there was no domestic violence, but there was emotional and psychological manipulation and torture. Unaona, na mimi I was saying I used to be those girls who were like, see, you talk to, what are you doing there? Just leave. So just leave. Now, when I tell you I understand, when I tell you I don't judge, when I tell you I've learned to give people grace, whew, it's because I went through it myself. I've had my fair share of that shit. So anyway, the job ikaisha DNR, hii relationship inanimaliza. Ikafika tu mali nikasema kitu inashinda kiniambia, usipotoka kwa hii relationship utadedi, usipotoka kwa hii relationship utaenda the next level. The only thing that's holding you back is this relationship. Leave this relationship. That was the voice that used to be in my head. So one day after a long back and forth, there comes a time. If your brain works well, there comes a time when you just can't take this shit anymore. It's just like, na hapo ndio mwisho. Took my stuff, I went. I told God, Mimi, see, you kept telling me this is what I need to do. I've taken it. Felt like jumping off a cliff. Have you ever seen someone trying to manipulate you with your lack of abundance? Mtu anakuuliza saa unaniacha alafu utakula nini? God damn it. Anyway, I left. Mimi na mapeni yangu nikatoka, nikaenda zangu nyumbani. I remember my very good friend, I won't mention her name. Yeye alitumia hiyo siku alitumia dojo. Sina job, for real sina job. Like mjamaa akiulizana na muacha nikule nini, ni juu sina form. Like wacha nikwambie, poverty is the enemy. Anyway, so here I am with my last monies from DNR. Walikuwa na tuodo, thankfully. So settlement ya last ikakam sasa last year 2024 ikienda kuisha hapo November. Actually settlement ya last ilikam December. Hiyo ndo nakumbuka settlement ilinifikisha Jan. So here I am. I've not released any music the whole time. I've not been recording. Employment turned me into a serial kalewa. So like I've just left this toxic relationship. Yani ushesikia life yako una spin hivi, unajaribu kutafuta balance. Like yo, have you guys seen my hoodie by the way? Don't fuck with my zen. And I love this look, this hair. This is my first time trying this. Anyway, look at me digressing. So yeah, my life was spinning. Last year at time like now my life was spinning. So nikatoka hiyo relationship na nikamwambia God, first things first. Nikamwambia nini? Sirudi mtaani. Second things second, jua kile tutafanya. Juu mimi I need to heal. I'm not going back to this nonsense. I need to heal and I need a streams of income because here I am, nilishapata keja. Please find a way out for me tafadhali. And I just held on to positivity. Zile lessons nile time ya isolation nikikuwa home, they really came through for me at that time. So then magically that December I reconnected with someone who really made a letter to positive vibe hivi, like nakani pump na energy. So I recorded last year December. Hizo ngoma nimetoa hii mwaka zote nilikuwa nimerecord last year. I was recording them in December and I didn't even know what I was going to do with that music. I didn't even know how I was going to release it. I was just recording. Ni kama ilikuwa like therapy for me, and I just held on to the thought that mimi shambia God asoti maneno hata jua kile nitakula. So yeah, in January 2025, after meeting Aziza so randomly in another studio session, I ended up on 10/10 so effortlessly, like this. Like let me tell you, when I tell you the universe moves, when I tell you the universe moves in ways that you cannot think or fathom, when I tell you. Anyway, so nikaenda 10/10 na ngoma yangu ya kwanza ya this year, Fire. Wacha niwaambie, Fire ilikuwa inafaa kuwa na video. In fact, I was supposed to go for that 10/10. I was supposed to take that video to 10/10 that day when I was going on January. It was the first week of January. Was it the first week or the second week? Yeah, it was the third week of January 15th. Think hapo nilikuwa nafaa kwenda na hiyo video. Tell me why the person who shot this video. Manze tumeshoot video hadi 2 am. Tumeshoot video hadi 4 am. Alafu mjamaa anaanza kucheza monkey. The guy never gave me my video. Imagine unapigia mtu hashiki simu, unamtext hashiki simu. Samidi. God anakuona. God alikucheki. But yeah, you know how we say nobody can stop reggae. So when I tell you I waited for that video January, February, March. Ikafika March niko tu like I have to take matters into my own hands because time sasa inaenda. I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to let anybody stop reggae, and I took matters into my own hands. That video that you see of Fire, kama hujaona Fire, rudi hapo. Ukimaliza pause rudi hapo. Uone hapo juu. Utafute Fire, uone. That is my own doing. Mimi am a perfectionist. Yani ilikuwa nakumbuka nikiupload hiyo video ilikuwa inaniwasha, niko tu like this is not perfect. Oh my god, this is just quality gani? Watu watanibebaje? People even watch this. Nikasema, you know what? Kitu kaniambia wewe rusha hiyo kitu YouTube, wacha overthink. And that was my first release of the year, officially with the video, and that happened in March. That was my first release, Fire. And then in the end of February, that was in January, nikatoa audio. March ndo nikatoa Fire. February nakumbuka nilipata gig ya nini? February nilipata gig ya Valentine's manzi. Braids zangu zilikuwa zimebomoka. You know, I could have easily said, you know what? Nakaa vibaya siendi hii gig, naenda kuambia watu nikikaje. But nilijigather. Mimi and my overstayed braids, nilijigather na my overgrown eyebrows. nilienda na nikaimba. Hata hiyo mkitaka hata mnaweza angalia iko tu hapo nyuma ya tu hiyo episode hapo kwa hii playlist. Hebu ndini mniambie mnione venye hizo jewelry zilikuwa tunaka. But I went and I sang, ikanipatia tu pesa at least tukanisukuma hadi March. And then March, by the time I think just after uploading Fire, just after releasing Fire, is when I got that, nikapigiwa interview niende Radio Generation. Kisanganya akaniambia, "Chia uko aje? Uko wapi? Kuna nini? Tunani producer kwa radio station pia." And I went. And I left there the next day. Left there with the job. So look, let me tell you, the moment I left that toxic relationship, vitu zangu zilianza kuenda. I swear that is what I needed to do. Anyway, so nikarudi back kutoa ngoma, na hivi ndio nimetoa ngoma consistently hadi November. My last release was actually the other day, like yes, na bidii yangu kama ujaiona uende uione. Yeah.
Umwaka na kiwasha nina waka ninaleta fire. Umwaka na kiwasha nina waka ninaleta fire. Washa waka washa waka fire. Washa waka
Yes, I work for my money. Najua Mola ndio mpaji. Sako ndogo sina mbogi. Utaniona na matori. Yes, I work for my money. Najua Mola ndio mpaji. Nataka hiyo lifestyle. You know I love it hiyo lifestyle. Nite Illuminati juu ya lifestyle. Wanasema ni bangi kumbe lifestyle. Bad beat iko juu antenna lifestyle. Trendsetter wanifuata bendera lifestyle. Wanna cup lifestyle. Mimi niko wax lifestyle. Come closer, tell me who you are. Come closer, I wanna feel your heartbeat. Tell me where you're from and show me who you are. Boy, you many bamba. Tell me where you're from and show me who you are. Why not? Boy, you many bamba. Bidii yangu is why I made it this far. Bidii yangu inanipeleka mbali. Mimi najua mahali bidii yangu imetoa. Bidii yangu is why I made it this far. Bidii yangu inanipeleka mbali. Mimi najua mahali bidii yangu imetoa.
Of course, this year kitu kingine pia nimefanya sana apart from release ngoma consistently, ni kwenda interviews. I've done podcast appearances and I've done interviews hapa na pale.
Yes,
so
responsibility.
Yeah, because bro, if you don't break that back, utalalanja, utatembea uchi, utafungiwa keja.
Yeah.
Like it's on you. There's nobody coming to save you. So then it also builds a tenacity. But then the day is mi kitu nimelani ukijituma. And I think I always tell you that so many times. Well, ukijituma, just put yourself out there. God is not a selfish guy. Atakupea, it's just there. Just go for it. Just go for it.
Lazima uamke uishe uichukue.
Yeah, it might take a lot of tries and some doors don't open, but also what I've learned is mlango yenye ifunguki si yako, wacha nayo. Don't even waste your time.
Na kama uko sure ni yako, gonga hiyo mlango ya.
Vunja. Get that, what's that SWAT thing they use to break the doors? Yeah, just go get it. And so in finding my way, in finding my path, in finding myself, religion became something that I'm calling it religion because then there's spirituality and there's religion. Yes. So religion is the typical church. If you don't do right, you're gonna go to hell. Typical. Like if you show up to church just like this, where are you going? You get so. But with time, religion fell off of me because I started to follow my path. And then I can say for me the biggest thing, the last thing that detached me from religion was when you start to become yourself and people are like, "Hapana, wewe ulikuwa unaimba hivi, mbona unaimba hivi? Usiimbe hizi, kuja ufanye worship, mbona unaimba hizo songs?" So guys started to judge me. People who I thought were my friends, people I'd grown up with, people I used to see every Sunday, people I used to hang out with every day, they started to judge me. So I felt out of place. So yeah, I built my own world.
Beautiful story right there.
Yeah.
Of weirdness.
P for predators.
For real, man. That's crazy.
Chicks, if Chicks can give you a list, if you can be given a list of shores that he has commongered just to get that through pass. Others have not even gotten a through pass. I don't know if you'll catch this or not. Like, yeah. Like komongara is proper. Like
Damn.
kutafuna kama miwa.
Okay, I'm laughing, but it's sad. Yo, that's crazy.
Kamua kama nguo ya shule unataka ikauke overnight.
Shit.
Terrible. They need to scrap that guy out of their system. Remove him from there.
Hey, itabidi sasa sisi ndio Kizagari podcast saves the industry.
He mentioned names.
He didn't mention anybody's name. He insinuated.
Insinuation made people aware that, you know, it's a particular person that you're talking about.
Yes, and I said what I said, and I'm not going to take it back. We are in this industry. People know. Aseli, this industry has been there for long, you know. So the thing that aches my soul the most is that's a thing that happens everywhere. If you're a doctor, if you're an engineer, if you're a whatever, it's just worse in our industry because it's arts. But the question is, why don't the men in the industry speak up on it or warn their other friends? Munafanya nini? This is not nice. Don't do this. Why? They just let it thrive. Also, some female artists are also to blame because let's not pretend like it's only the men. There are female artists who choose to pay back with their
sexual favors.
Yeah. So then they're also the ones making these guys have the audacity to come and say, when nipatie tu then utenge record. Ama nipatie tu.
So umesema hii industry watu wanaomba tu like hawaogopi wanakuambia tu kama uko free leo.
Sasa aseli ukienda studio na mtu ameka booth kwa bedroom. The bed is there. The mic is here.
Wait.
So the reason actually why I'm here talking to you guys is because after all these interviews, nilikuwa na get feedback mingi sana like so kwenye podcast, you have your own show, do this, do that. So then I sat and I was like, Chess, what's stopping you from starting a YouTube show? Do it. So here I am. Highlights of my year this year. Apart from today, I'm shooting this on the 24th of December. Apart from finally starting my YouTube show today, another highlight of the year is that I've consistently released music. It's never happened before, ever since I started my career, that nimetoa ngoma 4 zikifuatana, zikikuwa na videos like 1 2 3 4. So like I'm so encouraged, I'm so motivated, I feel so positively charged. Unaona, like niko tu like kumbe I can do this thing. Kumbe I've just been surrounded by vampires sucking the life out of me. Unaona, so and just being on radio, Manzela, let me tell you, I always wanted to be on radio. I always wanted to be on radio. Nikangangana mpaka nakumbuka kuna time nyingine nilikuwa nafanya amateur show pale Nation FM back when it was Easy FM. Did they give me job? So I was like, mademo ngapi nimerecord nimepeleka kwa hizo ma stations za kitafuta presenters. But let me tell you, when it's not your time, it's not your time. But when it's your time, nobody, not even one person can do anything to stop it. So yeah, I'm on radio. For radio, I work at Radio Generation. Ukiwatch bidii yangu, which I released just the other day, muifikishe 1000 bidii na mpitishe. Na subscribers tufikishe 1000 bidii na tupitishe, because 800 to 1000 distance kidogo. Yeah, so like I was telling you, bidii yangu nilishoot. Radio Generation is actually a collaboration. So I'm a producer there. I produce the night show. Inafanga Monday to Friday, hosted by Ksengani and Bashir. I'm the producer, so that means, just to give you a quick rundown of my job, if there are guests, I coordinate that. I make all the playlists Monday to Friday. I make sure my hosts are properly okosawa, the show is well prepped. You know, just the producer is like, I run the show. I am the person behind the scenes, also doing the cameras. Yeah, so I do that Monday to Friday night, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Then on Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. I host the Saturday Social alongside Edan Abdi. So you see, I'm a producer and I'm a radio host. And then I also get to release my music. And then I don't have to do an 8 to 5. I'm not seated in an office somewhere dying from 8 to 5. So God has given me everything that I asked for this year. And I was like, you know what? It's time to start giving back. So, and I know you're there. You're like me. You get that feeling. Like, am I maximizing on myself? I said, hii mwaka nilijamia Chess. Unaona Kenya may happen if you just move a little. Unaona tu kisonga kidogo tu hivi ukiweka tu kangu kidogo venye vitu zina happen. So this coming year, I'm looking forward to just expanding. I've started this YouTube show. I know it's gonna do great, and Thank you to each and every one of you for supporting me. My music is gonna be coming consistently. Yani this YouTube is on my YouTube channel is gonna be like a TV, like programming. Yani kuna kitu shorts. This Cruising with Nthusi, isho inaitwa Cruising with Nthusi by the way. This Cruising with Nthusi. Then my music. Yeah, like I just want to give you everything. I want to perform for you guys. The other day someone said 2 people now. So far nimepata now the other day when I mean, yes, so okay concert, okay event, tunataka to perform here live. So this coming year 2026, they say it's the year of the horse. Ni time ya kwenda. So yeah, I'm looking forward to all that, and just a huge thank you to each and every one of you who support me. There's so many of you here watching me now in my comments of my music that I don't know. I've never met. I've picked you up along the way in all these podcasts. So I promise to be vulnerable with sharing my lessons. I'm not a pro in anything. I have never been a pro in anything. I'm learning, I'm growing every day. I'm learning and growing. I'm a student of life. But I promise to be vulnerable with you and tell you what I've learned, the little that I've learned, hoping that it can help you make your journey easy. We laugh, we will cry, tears of joy only. I can guarantee you my crying tears of sadness days are over. Let me tell you, but I have paid my dues. I'm out of the darkness, I'm out of the tunnel, and the least I can do is to share my journey with you guys. So tuko hapa tubambike, tukule vibes, tukule ngoma poa. Subscribe manze. If you have a good time, subscribe to the channel, which I know you will. And yeah, let's support each other. Let me know in the comments, talk to me. I love comments. I will always read my comments. So Cruising with Nthusi, which is this show, you'll always get an episode every Friday, starting with this one. So this is 2025 recap. Then now 2026 we start fresh episodes. I'm namna gani, my friends? Subscribe, listen to my music, support me. Guys always asking me, how can we support you? For now, wachaneni na mambo ya Spotify. I have a Spotify account, of course. I have some music there, but for those of you who might be wondering why this music that's on YouTube is not there, it's because now I'm not distributing my music. I need to sort that out first. I need my royalties to come to me. It beats the purpose to release music if all my royalties are not coming to me, to my bank, to my pocket. All right? I can't be calling myself Nthusi money and someone is playing with my money. Nope. So for now, kama unataka kuni support, subscribe to my YouTube. Subscribe. For those who don't know, YouTube inalipanga watu, but you have to have a certain number of subscribers to be monetized. So for now, tunaweza fika tu 1K. Tafadharini. Thank you so much. Sending you so much love and light. See you on the next one. Mwah.